All right, if you're watching this, let's just make sure you're in the right room right now. If you're watching this, you want to know why a whole bunch of people are leaving TikTok and going to a even more Chinese social media app. This isn't my normal digs, but I actually have some information about this, so to please the algorithm gods, let's go ahead and get into it.
Step on it, Daddy.
Oh, hello there. YouTube game Whopping Gong Long. Hold on.
滑冰恐龙
Whopping Gong Long. I can't say it in a normal voice. I have to mimic the female voice. But back at it again with another banger. Alright, so let me set the scene here. United States government decided to ban TikTok, and instead of shutting down a social media platform, they accidentally launched the most spectacular cultural exchange program in the digital history. So 10 million Americans have downloaded an app called Red Note, or Jiaohongshu if you are feeling Chinese. It's an app that most people couldn't pronounce 2 months ago, but this isn't just a platform migration. This is what happens when you tell a generation that survived economic crashes, pandemics, and more bureaucratic nonsense than we ever should have to learn, and you say to them, you can't play with this toy. Seriously, you tell multiple generations of people that they can't do something, and now we have a whole bunch of people starting to learn Mandarin. So to provide a little bit of historical context here, let's take a stroll through America's greatest hits of tech paranoia. A greatest hits album that would make the Cold War propaganda look very subtle. So Huawei, a cell phone manufacturing brand out of China, banned faster than you can say geopolitical overreaction. DJI drones, suddenly a national security threat. And TikTok, it's apparently the digital equivalent of a Trojan horse. So here's a real kicker though. We could have prevented this entire circus with actual data prevention laws. But that would require companies like Meta and Amazon to actually respect user data. And we all know that that's about as likely as my 7-year-old giving a TED Talk without stuttering. This isn't about blocking Chinese technology. It's a long, complicated dance of technological colonialism that reveals a lot more about American tech insecurity than any genuine security threat. We're talking about a history where technological exclusion meets a little bit of racial panic, and where every Chinese tech company is treated like a potential spy novel come to life. And I mean, like, the irony that these bans consistently backfired. Remember the Huawei phone ban I just mentioned? All it did was accelerate China's domestic tech development. We didn't stop the technology transfer, we just made it so Chinese tech companies could just innovate and be a lot more self-reliant. So here is where Red Note comes into play. Those of you who don't know, Red Note, or Jiaohongshu, which translates to Little Red Book, is less of a social media app and more of a lifestyle app. And honestly, the concept and idea of it is something that would be really interesting if I didn't trust Western companies to completely just bastardize the idea. So Red Note has about 300 million monthly users who are young, mostly female users. It's a platform that's part recommendation engine and part lifestyle documentation. So think about Zanga if you're old like me, and a little bit of like Nextdoor without all the toxicity. And currently, it is apparently one of China's go-to search engines for lifestyle recommendations in China. Think beauty salons, maybe spas, things of that nature. Unlike TikTok or Instagram, Red Note displays multiple content types simultaneously. So videos, photos, long-form text, all of it is all shown at once in your social media feed. Yes, it is something that is very similar to Facebook, but it is also something that apparently it is a lot more of a communal experience. The best way I can really sum it up from what I've seen and what I've read is that it's like a social media feed, a shopping experience, and a personal diary all had a multilingual little racially ambiguous baby. For new American creators who are now migrating over there, it's like being teleported to a digital universe where content isn't just consumed, but it's also a lot more instantly transformed into commercial opportunities. So think about something like Instagram, but every post could get you one post closer to funding your next vacation. So right now, a lot of TikTok content creators who are migrating over to Red Note, they're experiencing what can only be described as a collective panic attack. They're wandering around Red Note like a bunch of tourists who landed in a country where they don't speak the language, don't understand the customs, but are fighting for survival and determined to survive. I like to imagine it as like, taking a whole bunch of toddlers to an indoor play park and just letting them wander and hoping that they will emerge out, within 20 minutes or so instead of getting lost and you have to crawl in there. But watching over my wife's shoulder as I'm kind of observing all of this from a third person point of view, you have people who are posting cat tags, posting videos and photos of their cats. You have a lot of people, you have like American expats and other national expats talking about their experience living in China for X amount of years. And I mean, it looks like every other social media app. In a certain way, it's like one part migration and also one part digital chaos, where a lot of Americans are really scared of becoming the next Chinese meme because they said or did something that was a little bit uncouth. And in regards to the criticism that like Chinese culture and just China as a whole is like subtly gaining more influence through their technology and things like that, I mean, they're already doing it just on their own, and I don't mean that in a very insidious way. Culture are memes and memes are culture. Like, to kind of exemplify what I mean, let me tell you a quick story about my own personal experience with Red Note. My wife is actually a postpartum doula, and if you don't know what that means, she is essentially like a birth advocate, and postpartum means after birth, so she helps a lot with people that are trying to get into the groove of being a parent. And apparently she's been a legend on Red Note for quite some time now, and we didn't even know it until recently. So for a while, she's been getting a steady stream of Chinese American clients, and they all kept saying that they were referred her name specifically through some Chinese social networking app. And while we all thought that, okay, yeah, it's a Chinese app, whatever, it ended up being Red Note. All these clients were quietly sharing her name in little micro communities. They were describing her as a Chinese-friendly doula who intrinsically understands the cultural nuances for people from China. She wasn't posting any content at all. She wasn't strategizing. She barely knew that the platform existed. She was just genuinely doing good work like always, and an entire community decided that she was worth recommending with their newborn children. Like that's pretty damn cool. And I mean, this is how culture actually moves, at least within a civilized society that we all live in. Not through grand government policies, but through like personal recommendations, sharing meals, and just sharing little traditions through genuine skills and understanding. Not really cheap electric vehicles. And like the most hilarious part about all this, and one of the big reasons why I decided to make this video, is the delicious irony in the fact that in trying to cut off Chinese social media, the US government has created the most effective Mandarin learning program in American history. You have people that are now re-upping their Duolingo subscriptions so they can focus on learning Mandarin now, so that way they can actually participate with the Chinese community and the Chinese culture on Red Note. And it's not because of any educational program or because of any work study or anything like that. It's because rebellion tastes a lot sweeter when it comes to giving a linguistic middle finger to bureaucratic restrictions. The TikTok ban isn't just a story about technology, it's a story about how trying to control connection only makes people more creative about staying connected. And there's also probably a really good story about America's techno-racism towards China. Someone who's more qualified to do that, please make that video and I'll watch it. But I think the best part in all this, and this is me from a millennial Leo, I think that millennials and Gen Z in particular, I feel like we are more emblematic of the decades of every systemic failure that has been brought upon us and forced upon us. Economic crashes, climate anxiety, pandemics, 9/11. And how did we cope with all of this? How did we process all of it? We turned it into pettiness and jokes and memes and just talking crap about the government. So this Red Note exodus to me is honestly just peak generational energy. We didn't just create a platform migration, we created a cultural exchange program funded entirely by government short-sightedness, and we did all of that with the kind of calculated spite that only comes from generations who have been told no for so many times that rebellion has become our primary love language. So to the senators who gave us such really high quality meme material during the TikTok hearings, and to everyone who thought that banning this app would just completely stop the new generation of the Red Scare. I mean, have you met teenagers? Or more specifically, have you met millennials and Gen Z who are just so tired of this crap? And I mean, we're so tired of it to the point now that people are learning Mandarin just to prove a point about a social media app. So congrats, DC. You have made international relations look like the coolest form of rebellion, and I guess we're here for it now. And in regards to people who were just kind of sitting in the background, looming in the shadows, doing their influence in regards to like American tech companies and American social media networks and all that, I hope that you are seeing that you're getting what you deserve. I mean, if you basically suck up to the government who has no idea how this tech works, how the internet works, and you basically just suck up to them instead of actually, leading them and guiding them, then this is what you get. If you're going to be donating millions to an inauguration fund, don't be surprised when people say F you and give that money to your competitors or your competitors' competitors or just to an entire foreign adversary. That's always on the table too. And off topic, one thing that I keep picturing in my head, which is going to be just delicious, is going to be the congressional hearing for Red Note. And my conspiracy theory, I'm calling it now, they're going to say that TikTok got banned on purpose. They want it to be banned. So in that way, Red Note can come in with more features and cause more of a bigger impact on American society. They have now started the dumbest game of whack-a-mole, and all I can do is sit back and laugh. Because they could have ended this. They could have prevented all of this if they would have just given Americans very basic set of data protection rights. But they didn't. So we are here and they get to sit in it. All right, that is the end to my very reactionary rant to this whole Red Note situation. It's completely crazy. I want to know what you guys think. Leave me your comment. Are you guys making the migration? Are you just going to kind of sit back and watch how everything goes? Or are you just going to, I don't know. Are you going to find some way to do both? To participate but not participate? Maybe make an account but just lurk. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Are you going to stay on TikTok until TikTok just shuts down? Are you going to go back to Facebook? Are you going to go to Instagram Reels? Are you going to go to Twitch? Are you going to go to YouTube Shorts? Are you going to go to any other things? Maybe Blue Sky? I'm on Blue Sky. Follow me on Blue Sky. But yeah, this isn't my normal type of digs. If you made it this far, then you at least enjoyed the video. Maybe check out some of my other videos. I traditionally make more video essay type content, but you know what? We all got to do things for the algorithm. So here I am, and here you are. You're still watching me, and I can't say thank you enough. I don't know when I'm going to stop talking, but I guess I will find a point at some time. So thank you again for your time. Please leave a comment for the algorithm. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things, and thank you again. And we're steadily working our way to 2,500 subscribers. So thank you for that. And I care about you all. I don't love you all, but I care about you all. All right, bye.